everyone, welcome back to another video here on Play on GAA. Welcome back to another episode of GAA News. This is episode 5. And well, Luke, last week, bit awkward. We were left with egg on our face just after we finished recording, convinced that Davy Fitzgerald is going to be the next Galway manager. The second we release the episode, Henry Shefflin is announced as the Galway senior hurling manager. So, bit awkward. We're left with egg on our face, but Henry Shefflin, in a mad turn of events, he's the new Galway Hurling Manager. Obviously, he managed Ballyhale Shamrocks and did very, very well with them. He's obviously, in my opinion, the greatest hurler to have ever played the game. Do you think he'll be able to translate that success into management?
Well, yeah, look, I do think he already has, to be honest. And people are talking about maybe he doesn't have the inter-county credentials, but look, he's 2 club All-Irelands, and he's done very well with Thomastown lately as well. So I think, look, he's absolutely qualified for it, and his credentials are very, very impressive. Like, as well, though, it was just the whole kind of appointment, I think, was an interesting one, because I don't think anybody was really talking about him as a candidate, really. It was nearly accepted that Davy Fitz. Like, we certainly weren't the only people that kind of that assumed it was going to be Davy that was coming in. It was being widely reported all across the country and stuff. News outlets and stuff had pretty much confirmed that Davy was going to take over. And apparently it was an 11th hour decision that Shefflin was approached. And once that it was discovered that he was interested and wanted to take over the role, then it moved very, very quickly from there. So I think the biggest surprise, I suppose, is the whole appointment process and how it kind of came to be. But overall, I do think it's turned out to be a far more popular appointment than the one that Davy would have been. Like, yes, he is kind of untested at inter-county level and a bit of an unknown quantity over what's going to happen here. But it's I think for the sake of the championship, it's extremely exciting that such a big name kind of joining the management teams that are already in place. The kind of question if Shefflin can kind of reinvigorate a talented Galway team that's kind of been stalled, I think, for the last couple of years. So look, the players are there, and if you look at every role that Shefflin's ever taken with Ballyhale and even Thomastown in recent years, there's talent in both of these teams, and I feel like he's very careful on where he selects to go and where he chooses. So he obviously has identified Galway as somewhere where he feels like he can still compete for All Ireland's every year. Look, there's plenty of young talent. You look at the consecutive minor winning teams as well. So he's probably looking at the pool of players there and thinking that he's got a panel that's built to contest All Ireland straight away.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And do you feel like he's a better appointment than Davy Fitzgerald?
Look, it's a hard one to know, because like the thing with Davy is that, like, although he kind of has, like, he's faced kind of criticism for his approach and his antics, he has had, initially anyway, he's brought kind of success to pretty much everywhere he's been. And he's got the All-Ireland win with Clare, and for the first couple of years of Wexford, he kind of completely reinvigorated them and brought so much enthusiasm back into the county there. So look, usually with Davy, you are going to have experience of bounce, and there will definitely be good times. But perhaps long term, it's not the greatest kind of appointment. Maybe for Galway it would have been. So with Shefflin, I suppose you're getting an excellent kind of club manager, but we don't fully know how he's going to be in county level. But you can only assume somebody that's so experienced, kind of, and has had so many times kind of being in like the top class changing rooms and stuff, like his whole way through his career and stuff. Like, surely he should have pretty much unparalleled kind of understanding of the game. And if he gets the right men in beside him, kind of, I expect more kind of in county appointments kind of for his background panel the next couple of weeks. So if there's good appointments there, look, it could be a very, very shrewd decision by the Galway County Board.
Yeah, the one caveat that I have, and I'd be interested to hear what you think about this, is, like, are they not hiring a man who has his eye on the Kilkenny job? I mean, a lot of Kilkenny hurlers, Michael Fennelly, obviously, as the Offaly manager, Eddie Brennan with what he did with Laois, and then obviously Shefflin taking the Galway job. Like, are Galway not a bit naive here, hiring a man, for a project for like a few years, when if Brian Cody leaves the Kilkenny job over the next 3-4 years, do they really think Shefflin's not going to throw his name into the hat for that job? Like,
yeah, but I think my argument to that would be, I think the exact same thing was kind of said about Liam Cahill, that once Liam Sheedy took over the job, it was nearly kind of accepted that once Sheedy stepped away, that Cahill would be kind of, he'd come back to his native kind of county. And the only reason that Cahill Cahill's in management. It was nearly kind of decided that he was there to manage Tipperary. But what's happened there is that after 2 years of managing Waterford, he's developed this kind of relationship and kind of rapport between him and the squad, and this kind of sense of duty over the squad that they've given him so much that he ultimately couldn't leave Waterford in the end, and then as a result turned down Tipperary. So that could well happen for Shefflin, is that although he might have half his eye on the Kilkenny job going forward, if he experienced some success and progression with his Galway team straight away, I think he's going to find it very difficult to leave them if the Kilkenny job becomes available in the next year or two, and Galway are going well at the time and stuff as well. Kilkenny might be in a bit of a transition with TJ Reid stepping away. I think Shefflin might be kind of satisfied to stay in Galway if it goes well for the first few years. I'm curious what you think of that.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, I think, but it's an unreliable example. I know it's a good example of Liam Cahill turning down Tipperary, but Liam Cahill and Henry Shefflin aren't the same man. They're not the same man. The one thing you can guarantee about Henry Shefflin is that he is ambitious and he is a winner. And I think if Galway don't give him everything he wants, I think he will leave. I think if they don't back him, I think if they don't get him the best of the best in terms of, their training sessions, their facilities, their gear, everything like that, Shefflin will demand the best because he has come from, the Kilkenny background under Brian Cody, where everything was the best and the standards were so high. And Galway over the last couple of years, for whatever reason, under Shane O'Neill, they flattered to deceive, particularly last year. And with Shefflin, I think he'll have a very kind of army-like approach, similar to Brian Cody. A little outside prediction that I'll have is we might see one or two lads leaving the Galway panel over the winter. Shefflin might, do what a lot of authoritarian managers tend to do, which is kind of make an example of someone. We might see him do that. We might not. I'd be interested to hear what you think about that.
Yeah, well, look, I do think it's an interesting one. Is that there's kind of been some safe kind of players on the panel for the last couple of years that have they're in age, they're kind of moving on a little bit. The likes of maybe the Joseph Coonies and stuff, Connor Coonies as well, and even the Davy Burks and stuff like that as well. So it'd be interesting to see if the elder kind of statesmen are still in Shefflin's plans, or if he's going to kind of try and focus on blooding those players from those successful minor teams. Yeah, look, I do think it's an interesting one. And I think you could be right that maybe one or two big names that have kind of been mainstays of that team might not feature too much kind of in the next couple of months, I suppose, in national leagues and then later on championship.
Yeah, well, either way, it will be absolutely fascinating to see how he does. In other news this week, Ephie Fitzgerald, who was the Cork Ladies Football Manager, he's now been announced as the Waterford Men's Football Manager. So Waterford Men's Football, they lost Shane Hoyne to the Cork Ladies job, and then going the other way, Ephie Fitzgerald goes from the Cork Ladies to the Waterford Men's team. What do you make of this appointment?
Yeah, look, it's an interesting one. I suppose Waterford had the vacancy and stuff like that as well. They're kind of recently after Renane and everything. Yeah, look, it'll be an interesting one to see. It's a tough job from kind of taking over on Waterford, where expectations are probably not very high. But yeah, look, I suppose it's always about progression, like division, and just to see how they're going to do in Division 4 and if they can kind of keep improving. Yeah, it's a kind of unusual one in that it was like a direct job swap, I suppose, between the two managers. But look, it's obviously he's got great credential, and look, it should be an interesting appointment.
In other news, there were two very notable departures from the Gaelic football scene in the last week. One player at the end of his sporting career and another player at the beginning of his. We'll start with Gary O'Donnell. He retired from the Galway football team, and Fionn O'Hara, a Westmeath teenager who's also played rugby at under 18 level for Ireland, he departs Westmeath for the AFL. First, Gary O'Donnell, great servant for Galway football, and yeah, he'll be missed in my opinion.
Yeah, look, he's been a 13-year kind of career, and look, he's been there an awful long time. Yep. So after Galway have lost him and Johnny Duane as well, so they've lost kind of two members of that kind of half back line. But yeah, look, I think O'Donnell, I think they were kind of nearly veering more so towards kind of youth kind of into that half back line. So look, it's probably the right time kind of for him and stuff. But like, it's been a fantastic career for him, really. And he's just to be a mainstay in your county team for so long. And look, he's been a fantastic servant for Galway football.
No doubt about that. And then on the other side of the fence, Fionn O'Hara, Westmeath youngster, very, very talented, leaving for the AFL. all the best of luck to Fionn over in the AFL. Hope he absolutely smashes it, because it's going to be tough over there for him, but he's a fantastic athlete, and yeah, we wish him all the best over in Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, it's a pity kind of to see it, I suppose, from a Gaelic fan kind of perspective. But look, fair play to the lads kind of that go over there. They have a chance to play professional football, and it's a fantastic opportunity for them, and for so many, like, it's something that you can't like turn down, especially kind of considering like with that we have an amateur game here and stuff like that as well. And for any lad that gets offered that, you can't begrudge them the kind of success that's going to bring them.
100%. So, guys, that is the end of episode 5 of GAA News here on Play on GAA. We hope you enjoyed it. And until the next episode, guys, take care.